The movie starts with a girl named Maria. Maria fails the driving test and is not having a good time. Maria also helps her father in selling vegetables in the market. He has a stubborn personality and always argues with his father. Maria is a student and lives in her father's house. Their house is far from the university where he studies. Until one day, he finds a leaflet for renting an apartment at a cheap price and decides to visit the apartment. Later, it turns out that the house belongs to an old man named Henry. At first, Henry refuses to let her into the house because he does not rent the house to young girls. However, Maria tells him she was introduced by her son. Henry finally invites her inside and shows her the rooms of the house. After seeing the room and bathroom, Maria becomes interested in the house and agrees to rent it. He then advises Maria that she should answer some questionnaires. Then, if he has the conditions, he will be contacted because he was not the only one who was interested in renting a room. It turns out that several other people are standing in line to see the room. In the following, although Maria is waiting for the old man's call, she looks for other rooms to rent as an alternative. A few days later, Henry calls Maria and tells her that he has been accepted, and that he can rent the room. Maria leaves her hometown soon, and takes her things to Henry's apartment. After a few days of stay, Maria starts playing the piano. He is really good at playing the piano, but when the old man gets home, he gets angry with Maria and tells her not to touch the piano anymore. The old man then asks Maria for 2 months' rent, and if she doesn't pay, she has to leave the apartment. But Maria tells Henry in response that she only has money for 1 month's rent. So the old man offers him another offer. Henry tells Maria that she must influence her son, and ruin his marriage to his bride. So if Maria can help him, he can stay at her house for free for 3 months. On the other hand, Maria also uses the opportunity and gives him a higher offer. Although the old man stipulated 3 months, Maria insists on 6 months for the agreement. Finally, the old man agrees. A few days later, the old man's son Paul comes to his father's apartment, and meets Maria. Maria begins her impressive work with a cup of coffee and a quiet conversation. It seems that he admires Maria's work in his heart. Until Maria starts talking about her several failures in life. Henry then comes home, and Paul is about to leave. But before leaving, Henry invites Anne to lunch on Sunday. In the next scene, we see Maria doing the test, who doesn't seem very focused. Sunday comes, and Henry's son comes to Henry's house with his wife. They then start eating together. But it doesn't take long for father and son to start arguing about the piano. He suggests to his father that if he does not use it, he should sell it. Henry then gets angry, and allows Maria to play some music for them. Henry is very surprised by Maria's piano playing and his eyes fill with tears remembering his deceased wife. If we look at Valeria's character, she seems very wise and kind. Later, Maria goes to the university to see the results of her exams. He has failed in the exams and is very sad about this. So, frustrated and confused, he goes to a bar to hang out. In the next scene, Valeria comes to Henry's house with a plate of food, and sees Maria sad. Maria tells him that she failed the exams for the umpteenth time. Henry also arrives there, and sees Maria upset. The old man then motivates her, telling Maria that she can improve her skills by playing the piano. Maria then realizes that Valeria has a kind heart. So he goes after her and tells Valeria that Paul loves her very much. Maria then returns home and tells Henry that she feels guilty for what she has done. He also reminds the old man that Valeria is a good woman, but he firmly asks Maria to pack her things by Monday and leave the apartment. In the next scene, Maria returns to her father's house and sees that her room has been remodeled, and her mother has turned it into an office space. He then lies to his parents that he has passed his exams and they are both very happy. Without finding a way, Maria returns to Henry's apartment and informs him that she is ready to continue what she asked. That night, Henry notices an advertisement on the internet for a piano exam, so he secretly prints a leaflet and drops it in the mailbox. In the morning, he asks Maria to take the letters out of the box. He then asks Maria to read it and suggests that she take the music test. The next day, Maria notices Paul's presence in the pool and deliberately approaches him to impress him. When they return home together, Maria tries to get Paul's attention in the house, but Paul pulls himself away from Maria and leaves the house. Maria then follows him and gives him her number. But he admits to Maria that he probably can't call her. Then Henry goes to Maria's room and asks her what happened. To which Maria replies that Paul loves Valeria very much, and she can't please him. But Henry asks Maria to try one more time. The next morning, Maria wakes up and receives a message from Paul asking her to visit him. They meet at a bar, and when they return home, he confesses his feelings for Maria, and embraces her. But Maria pulls back and tells him that it is too urgent. Later, Paul returns home happy in the morning. But Valeria is waiting for him angrily. Valeria becomes suspicious of him, and leaves the house after finding a woman's dress in her car. In the next scene, Paul tries to call Maria, but her number is unavailable. Meanwhile, Henry tells Maria that he received the music entrance exam. Later, Paul receives a subpoena from the court, and finds out that Valeria has filed for divorce. Some time later, Valeria calls him and it turns out that she is pregnant, and her divorce is annulled. Later, Paul takes the test results to his father and tells him that after 10 years, he finally had a baby. But Henry is not happy to hear this news and is suspicious of Valeria. Paul is upset with his father's reaction and asks him to respect Valeria. Meanwhile, Maria's father finds out that Maria did not graduate. So he calls his daughter and asks her to go back to his hometown and help him in the vegetable stand. In the evening, Maria reveals to Henry that she will soon return to work with her father. Later, Paul comes to Henry's house with Valeria. They forgive each other and celebrate for Valeria and Paul. On the other hand, Maria does not listen to her father, and does not return to the market for work. Some time later, Henry accompanies Maria to piano practice. Until the exam time comes and Maria has to leave Henry for 2 weeks to start the exams. After passing a series of music tests, Maria misses Henry and comes to his apartment. He sees Paul arranging Henry's things. Then he finds out that Henry died a few days ago. He asks Paul to stay at Henry's apartment for a while, and he agrees, because it was his father's wish. Before leaving, Paul gives him a letter from Henry, in which some of Henry's recommendations are written for Maria. Henry advises Maria not to stop trying to achieve what she wants, and not to drink. He then tells Maria not to wear short dresses in front of other people and to ignore her father's words about working in the market. Finally, he presents his piano to Maria. He is also proud to be a grandfather. The film ends with Maria visiting Henry's grave and leaving a flower for him as a memorial. Well, the summary of this movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Stay tuned to KT Recaps channel to see more videos.